Hello everybody, sorry for not posting any videos in a really long time, but for the past week I've been off on vacation, and I recently came back last weekend. But anyway, I'm back on YouTube, and I'm going to be making more Dragon Nest videos for you guys. And so today, instead of running a dungeon or nest, I'm going to be doing a personal skill build analysis of my character and kind of guide you through what to choose and what not to choose when planning out your skill build for your own engineer. Your character's skill build, which is located down here, let me find it. Yeah, right here, Tinkerer and Engineer. Uh, it's probably one of the most important aspects of your guy, as it can drastically improve your performance in either PvP or PvE, depending on your preferred standpoint. Additionally, it's also kind of a risky thing in Dragon Nest, as you only get 2 tries to redo your build. As you level up your character, you're rewarded with respecs, but after that, it takes around $24 worth of NX to do it again. I think, like, around that. But yeah, so on to my skill build. Engineers are mainly a DPS class, and the skill build I chose for my character is a PvE pure DPS build. So if you like dealing good damage when running nests and dungeons, clearing enemies out quickly, then this is the build for you. PvPers, this build is still pretty good for PvP, but again, it is centered on PvE, so I'm not sure if you should go this route. Also, this is just my opinion on how the build should go, and there may be better renditions of a good DPS build that are better than mine, but anyways, this is just my take on it. Alright, so, on to my skill build. And you do notice that I am above Saint Haven. Oh, now I'm not. Alright. So on to my skill build. I'm going to start out with the Tinker and then move on to the Engineer here. So let me start. Quick Shot. Rapidly fires 3 shots. This is a really good DPS move that you must have on your guy. These 4 moves will be just a default of your character. You'll start out with rank 1 of each of these things, but Quick Shot is definitely a needed move. It deals some really good damage, and its cooldown is really short, 4.5 seconds. And then again, it shoots 3 shots, as you can see from this video. So if you rank this up, then it can do pretty good damage and save you in some pretty tight places when maybe all of your moves may be on cooldowns. Your quick shot's like 90% of the time always there with you. So yeah, I recommend that you rank this up as much as you can, because this is probably one of the best DPS moves in a Tinkerer. Alley-oop, not really that good of a move at all. Smacks nearby enemies into the air, and it just basically blasts them into the air like it says. But it's a really slow move, and also again it has an 8-second cooldown. Not too bad, but still it doesn't do that much damage, as you can see, 102% plus 66. So I kept this at prerequisite so that I could unlock the next chain of moves. Wrench Womp and Ant Agonizer are your just your regular special attack moves and such. Yeah, you can't rank those up. Napalm launches a fire grenade that explodes and engulfs enemies within 3 meters in flames. Level 3, I don't really use this move a lot at all. I don't think I ever use this move. It doesn't really do too much damage. So I just keep this, again, at prerequisite, so I can unlock the next move. Roto Whirl, this is your dodge move, and so obviously you need to have the shortest cooldown for your dodge move, because it's vital when surviving in dungeons and nests. So I'd rank this to max rank. Starburst, or also known as Stun Grenade, it throws a stun grenade or a shock grenade to stun enemies. 10-second cooldown. It does some pretty decent damage at a high rank, but again, this isn't really a move for damage, it's a move to stun enemies. And it's really good, stuns them for probably about 3 to 5 seconds, based on my experience. But anyways, you should definitely have this move. Probably at least rank 2, but the the stun chance does not increase, or the cooldown does not decrease when you upgrade this move. So if you want to get better damage, then rank this up. If you don't, then just leave it. Slip and Slide. Now this is more of a PvP move instead of a PvE. Wax the ground around you, causing enemies to slip and allies to move faster. Increases your movement speed by 37%, and it lasts for 5 seconds. Cooldown 20 seconds. This move, I really don't use this move too much unless if I'm in PvP. If you're doing a PvP build, then I suggest you level up these two moves right here, Slip and Slide and Bubble Trouble. I'll just give you a hint right there. But for PvE, I usually just use this to speed run through dungeons if I just need a little speed boost here and there. Knockdown chance is 10%, so yeah, the chances of the guy slipping are pretty slim, but yeah. I probably wouldn't invest my points in this, but I guess I did anyways, because I had extra points. Rise and Shine, another PvP move. Press the regular attack button when you are down to blow up nearby enemies. It's just a good move so that when you're like smacked to the ground, then you can get up pretty easily without getting smacked again. Good for PvE and PvP. Alright, Alfredo Drop. Now this is again a pretty vital move, pretty self-explanatory. It just summons your Alfredo. So you would have that at max rank, which is rank 2 for the level 40 cap. And Bodyguard, yeah, we don't need to go through that. Aerial Evasion, when launched into the air, press the jump key to land on your feet. Another PvP and also PvE vital move. The cooldown is 21.7 seconds. And again, when you're getting hit by someone like in the air, then you can obviously press the spacebar to get back on your feet without just landing on the ground and smashing your face. So yeah, I'd rank that to max rank, which is rank 3 at the moment. Yamatron, get that to rank 1. It dispenses food out. It's really good for when you're running dungeons by yourself or with a group. You can get good buffs and also HP and MP improvements. Health Bolster, get that to rank 3. Mental Fortitude, rank 3. And Tune Mind, rank 2, which are the maximum. It just improves your guys' stats, obviously. And your mana regeneration rate. Alright, so now with the Engineer. Again, this is just my personal build. But anyways, without further ado, let's do this. Alright. Super Ball fires a round that bounces from enemy to enemy. If no additional enemies are in range, it deals extra damage based on the number of bounces left. Alright, now this is a primary DPS move for an Engineer. It just does so much damage, and also it's really good for dealing with groups of enemies, as again, it bounces from one to another, and when all of them are dead, then it uses all of its extra damage on the remaining enemies to deal extra damage. So if you guys have extra SP, then I suggest you invest or try to max out Super Ball as much as you can. People who are going Make It Rain in Chemical Warfare usually have this at a higher rank. For me, I kept this at level 3, and I'll probably explain to you why later on. Rocket Crash, this is really good for jumping away and dodging from enemies. It's really good for dodging. I suggest you just get that to level 1. It's also pretty good in PvP as well, as it also does damage when you position it correctly. Quackum Crash, this is to summon your Quackums. 70% of your max HP. Nothing really good about them at high ranks, so I suggest you just get this to level 2, so that you can get the prerequisite for the next ones. Alfredo Smash commands him to stomp. Suggest to get this to prerequisite. It just taunts enemies, but through my personal experience, it doesn't really do good in terms of making him get the aggro instead of you, which I thought it would do. It doesn't do too much damage, but I guess it's a pretty good crowd control move. Gravity Grenade, now this is a really good move. Throws a grenade that creates a gravity well that pulls enemies in. Doesn't do too much damage. Again, it's like the stun grenade, but it's really good for sucking in enemies, just like the Mystic's Black Hole, except its cooldown is only 14 seconds. So when you combo this up with a gravity grenade and stun grenade, PvP or PvE. It's really good. Really good. Alright. Quack Shot commands Robo Quackums to breathe electricity. Get that prerequisite, rank 2. Doesn't do too much damage, but again, it's really good for stunning enemies. Piping Hot Alfredo, it just makes Alfredo improve his stats overall. He'll do that automatically, just get that prerequisite. Gatling Cracker summons a machine gun tower manned by a Robo Quackum. Now this is also the third and primary damage move on your engineer. It does so much damage because it just it's like a machine gun that launches bullets at an enemy, and it's known to do pretty much the best damage. It has the shortest cooldown also out of all the cannons that you have, and when ranked up it does tons of damage. So I suggest maxing this up. Max it up all the way. Also, again, may I add, the rate of fire is also really high compared to all the other ones. Probably the fastest out of all your cannons. So again, that's why it does so much damage. Quack Patrol commands Robo Quackums to unleash an ultrasonic wave to silence and weaken enemies. Pretty good, silences enemies obviously, but you really don't notice this in PvE. Probably does its job though, but you'll notice it more in PvP, especially when enemies or opponents do that on you. It's pretty annoying. Alright, so Alfredo Tank commands Alfredo to absorb a portion of damage taken by nearby enemies. Sorry, I was checking to see if it's still recording. It absorbs 34.6% of all the damage you take, and the duration is 35 seconds. This is a vital move for survival. It's better than all the shield moves on any character or class in the game, so this is so good. It siphons your damage and transfers it onto your Alfredo. And we know that our Alfredo has 400% of our max HP, so he can take a lot of hits before dying. I suggest getting this to level 2 or level 3. Level 3 is also recommended because it absorbs about 40% of your damage absorbed. I'll give you also a really good tip. Also, everybody know this. Nobody knows this right now except me and a couple other friends, but Alfredo Tank actually stacks up if it's not the same rank of the moves. So if you have level 2 and your friend has a level 3 Alfredo Tank, then it'll actually stack up, which is pretty cool. You'll absorb about 70% damage right there. Really powerful. Cannon Quackum, just like the Gatling Cracker, except it's a cannon, obviously. Doesn't do too much damage because it has a really slow rate of fire, and you can see that its damage compared to the Gatling Cracker is far less superior. So I would suggest getting this to level 3, which is the prerequisite for Frost Quacker. And Cami Quackum, another vital damage move, and also really good support move for PvPers. Commands Robo Quackum to chase a nearby enemy and self-destruct. It does a really high amount of damage, as you can see right there, and additionally it reduces the enemy's damage by 40%, which is really good when stacked with Alfredo Tank. So you can start seeing all the combos here that you can do as an engineer. The Gravity Grenade and the Alfredo Tank with Cami Quackum. So just keep in mind of that when you're using your engineer. Alfredo Tornado, a really good PvE and PvP move. It does really high damage with Alfredo Tornado, but the bad thing about this guy is that sometimes it can interrupt the Alfredo Tank, which is really bad because it has a 46-second cooldown. And you really need this Alfredo Tank when surviving in dungeons, because engineers are pretty squishy. And now Frost Quacker, a really good move for crowd controlling, good damage also. You can see right here, 4,099 and 393%. And you can be asking me, why is this seems better than this? Well, yeah, it does some pretty good damage, but again, its rate of fire is really slow. And also, it has a longer cooldown than Gatling Cracker. But again, this does, I guess it probably does more damage than the Gatling Cracker, but you'll see this probably more prevalent in your dungeons than this one, just because of its cooldown. But again, get this to rank 3. Try to max it up as much as you can so you can get that damage in there. Don't forget about technique silver rings, which can improve the rank of your guys' moves. So if you can get this to rank 4, look at that damage right there. If you can get this to rank 3 or maybe rank 4, then that would be pretty cool. Or this to rank 5. Alright, and lastly, just go with your ultimate, the Quackums. Not as good as Bullet Barrage in terms of damage, but it's a good move because right after you launch the grenade, then you can actually move around. Instead of with this one where you're immobile the whole time. You can't move in this one. So you're really vulnerable to getting hit with a lot of junk. And your guy doesn't have a shield like other ultimates give you. Alright, so that is my skill build analysis for the Engineer and Tinkerer. This is a really good build, really easy to use build. To combo it up, here you can see down here. I usually pop out my Quackums first, then I pop all my towers in order, and then I use Kami Quackum to finish it off to get that reduction down of damage. Then I combo it up with Quick Shot, Gravity Grenade to suck all the enemies in, stun them up, and then after that I use my Ping Pong Ball, and sometimes I just use my Alley-Oop just because it's there. But I think I should probably switch to Napalm now. Now that I think of it, I don't even have Napalm on my list here. Switching on to my second page here. Alfredo Smash, Alfredo Tank, Kami Quackum in case if I need it again. Rocket Crash, again, you can just dodge and use the right click move to activate it. So I don't really pay attention to that. Yamatron, Slip and Slide, Bodyguard. So that's my key layout here. And in terms of focusing on statistics for your character, I suggest that you go agility. Definitely focus on agility. That's the primary thing that you need here. It increases critical. You can see right here. 8,000 critical. That's pretty good. I can definitely improve on that. But that's like probably a 70% chance of a critical there. So, and also agility is better than strength when giving you physical damage. So go agility when you're doing an engineer. Next in priority, I'd probably go vitality, as it increases your defense and your maximum health. Again, engineers are pretty squishy, and with the recent release of the Sea Dragon nest, you definitely need vitality when surviving in nests, or you will not be needed. But anyways, that is it pretty much for my skill build analysis. If you have any questions or other improvements to give me to improve my skill build, if you think that you have a better rendition of the build, then please let me know. Message me or put a comment below, and like, favorite, and subscribe as usual. I hope this helped you out. Sorry if this was kind of a long video, 18 minutes, but this helps you out a lot. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.